Hi guys, today I am going to talk to you about my Zoom sessions, how I run my Zoom sessions, and what the pattern is. So I know a lot of people that are early childhood professionals are looking for ways to connect with their children, and running a Zoom session can be a little bit intimidating, right? I mean, I know when I first did my first Zoom session, I was like, okay, I'm used to like jumping around and singing and acting goofy in front of the kids when there's no parents around, but now I'm going to be at their house and they're going to be watching me act kind of goofy and silly and whatever, and I'm going to have to sing in front of people. Oh, I don't even like karaoke. I mean, unless I'm like really, yeah, unless I've had a couple drinks. But anyways, so yeah, so these Zoom sessions that I've been running, I took a couple different classes on Zoom sessions. I have a business coach. She was helping me figure out how to run the Zoom sessions, and then I also did a lot of research on other early childhood programs and what they're doing and how they're doing it. So I thought I would share the template that I have now, because we're on like whatever week number 8 million, I don't even know. And so I just wanted to share with you what I have discovered and found for myself that works really well. So number one is, have, just like circle time or just like your daily routine, it's a good idea to have like a regular predictable routine for your Zoom sessions. So with my kids, what we do is I try to remember to send out my Zoom session, because I do it 4 days a week. So every day it's at the same time. It's from 10 to 10:30. So I send out an email to all of my families and just tell them, this is a half hour that we're going to be getting together. So then all my families will sign in. There's a password on our Zoom session. I mean, you might want to read up on like what the safety protocol is, but I send individual Zoom, or I'm sorry, I send a invitation to all my families, and it has the invite, and then there's a waiting room, and then we also have a security password for everybody to get in, because you don't want somebody to hijack your Zoom session and whatever, cause any kind of problems. So the next thing, so the kids come in, we have a couple minutes where we're like just talking while we're waiting for all the rest of the children to come in. Then as the parents are coming in, I just remind everybody what we're going to be doing for the day, what our activity is, so that they can gather whatever kind of materials they need for their activity. And then as after all the kids come in, we do a good morning song. And our good morning song is, good, hello children, hello children, hello children, how are you today? And so I go through each one of the children's names, and just like really like, that's like my way to connect with them. So I say, hello Harper, and I do the song for, for each one of the children, so that they feel connected and they feel like I'm giving them each individual attention. So we do our little hello song, and then as the children all come in, then I do a story time. So I have openlibrary.org is the website that I use. It's not perfect because there are not a ton of options on there. I mean, it's kind of limited in my opinion. It's a little bit difficult to navigate, but whatever. It's a storybook that you can pull up. And the nice thing about it is, like, I do a lot of like letters and numbers. So we're like working on letters, numbers, colors, shapes, like, and simple stories. Because, really you have about 3 to 4 minutes of their focus before they need to do something else. So we use openlibrary.org, and then I'll pull up the story that we're going to read, and then we read the story. And the reason why I like doing that instead of just holding up one of the books that I already have in my classroom is because then all of the letters and the numbers are correctly oriented for the kids, so that I'm not confusing them, because a lot of them are still learning their letters and numbers, and so I don't want to confuse them. So you go through our story, and then we'll do a simple craft. So today's craft was we did these. Yeah, I'm amazing, guys. So just basically, I just wanted to do a simple painting activity. And I try to use things that I know that the parents have at home. Like, everybody pretty much has printer paper. So that's why, like, like normally if I were in the classroom, then I would have prepped something a little bit more fancy, but I don't want to stress the parents out. I want it to be simple. So a lot of our activities are just done on simple printing paper. So basically I just, I told the parents the day before, we're going to be doing a butterfly, but even for the parents who weren't there the day before, it takes like 2 seconds to cut out a butterfly. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then I also had paint. All my families knew at the beginning of the Zoom sessions that we were going to be using watercolors like tempera, crayons, and markers. So I try to stick to, and some glue. So I just try to stick to very, very, very basic art supplies so that all the children can participate. And so that if the moms are not prepared, as I am one of those chicks, just not prepared until the very last second, that all they have to do is go to the craft cupboard and like, okay, we already know she's just going to be picking from these things. We could just set this up and then, whatever, they can go do whatever they need to do. And then the kids and I can talk. And then, so we do our craft activity. And during the time that they're doing their craft activity, I'm just like checking in, oh, what fun things do you do? And giving each child an opportunity to talk. Because, if they're crafting, then obviously they're going to be thinking about whatever it is that they're working on, their project that they're working on. And then there can be a lot of dead space. So as the teacher, you feel like you kind of got to have, some kind of conversation going to kind of, keep that momentum going. So that's what I'll just like say, oh, whatever. Today I was doing my craft with the butterflies. So I was like, what I did was I had my tray here. So I have a little tray set up, and I'm going to fold this down so you can see. So I have this little tray set up. I have my stuff. And so while I'm teaching the children, I'm talking about what I'm doing. I was like making little dots around the outside, the outside of my butterfly, and just talking about like the colors that I'm using, talking about why what the strategy is behind how I'm painting. I'm like asking them questions about what they're painting, commentary, these sorts of things. And then just kind of fold mine shut and then just, show them like, oh, this is what it looks like when I open up my butterfly. Look, there's, whatever, this dots on both sides, basically like talking about patterns. So we would go through that whole process. And then also throughout the time, I'm letting the parents know like, oh, maybe you could put a little piece of string in there and hang it from your ceiling so everybody can see your beautiful butterflies. And also letting the parents know that if they have other activities, like kind of planting the seed with the kids, and like, oh, you could do more of these butterflies while your mom and dad are on that conference call that they need you to be quiet for. So just kind of like giving the parents like some ideas on how they can create this simple invitation to explore art and creativity so that they can kind of keep their kids busy while they're doing their work, and just kind of teaching the children and the parents the process of creating a very simple piece of artwork. And then after we do all of that, I always ask the kids, is there anything you want to share with your friends? So they all like to go around and they'll like, oh, look at, I got this Pokemon, or I've got this princess dress, or whatever it is. So each child has a minute or two to like share something from their home that is important to them. And then we have our goodbye song. So, so at the end of our goodbye song, my goodbye song is just like, goodbye, Cece, goodbye, Cece, goodbye, Cece, we're glad you came to play. And then I'll tell the kids, all right, we're going to give ourselves a big hug. Take one hand here, one hand here. Give yourself a squeeze, and a kiss, and a kiss, and another kiss, and another kiss, and goodbye. So that's kind of how I end all of my sessions. So that's pretty much how I run my Zoom sessions. The kids love it. They look forward to the time that we're together. Also, I let parents know, like I have one of my little guys, he needs to move while he's listening. That's just how his brain is wired and his body is wired. So she was feeling kind of like, oh, a little bit, concerned that he wasn't sitting for the session. I don't expect the children to sit for the session. Actually, one of my 4-year-olds, who is my best listener in preschool, even when she's, she needs to move around a lot. I educate my parents by letting them know, like, children need to move around a lot whenever they're listening. Actually, adults do too. Old school thinking is that everybody should sit down and be quiet and put their eyes on the teacher. New school thinking is, no, you need to move while you're listening. Like I consume incredible amounts of content related to learning. I love learning new things. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. And the best way for me to learn new things is to pop on a podcast and go for a jog, because then I'm going to retain a lot more of that information. And then I'll go back and refer to it. So the idea that your child has to sit during the Zoom session is obsolete and not true. It's okay if they're moving. One of my little girls likes to, she was getting frustrated because every time I would read the story, she'd kind of check out and she would need to move. So she would go over to she has a little slide in her, the area where she listens to her Zoom sessions. So she would be on the slide and then she would miss the story because she couldn't see the screen. And then at the end of our session, she was sad because she missed the story. So I just explained to her, all you have to do is turn your camera so that your camera is facing the area where you're on your slide, and you can be on your slide, you can be moving around, you can be dancing, doing whatever you need to do, and then you can still see the screen so you're not missing the story. So she was very happy today. She made sure to position her camera so that she could move while she's listening, because that's what children need to do. They need to move while they're listening so they can process the information. So yeah, I hope that helps. I was talking, like I said, I was telling my families, if I'm just on in the background while your child is doing whatever your child's doing, that's cool. And it's up to you. Like, there's no pressure. I don't want my parents to feel like they have to be a part of the Zoom session. I create the Zoom session because, actually, for all of us, I want the parents to know I'm still here. I'm still invested in my program. I'm still invested in their children's development. I want the children to know I'm here. I love you. And I'm still going to do something fun with you. It's a great opportunity for me to be able to practice new skills like speaking and teaching via Zoom. Also technology. I previously was not super tech savvy, so I'm learning all sorts of things. And also it kind of grounds me in my day, because otherwise, like everybody else, I mean, it would be really hard for me to be motivated if I didn't have like that. Okay, at 10 o'clock, I have to be dressed and have my hair done and my makeup done because I'm going to be on camera. And that's how I roll. Like, I wouldn't roll up in my pajamas, but if you want to do that, knock your socks off. So the Zoom sessions are really great for everybody. They're great for the kids, great for the parents, great for myself. And at the beginning, I did kind of take a little survey with my families. I was like, do you want me to just come on and do a meet and greet, a quick story, and then a goodbye song? Do you like the crafts? Because, I wanted to know from my families, like, the last thing I want to do is stress them out and make them feel like, now we got to do this whole craft thing on top of it. Because I am hearing from a lot of my friends who have kids that are doing the Zoom sessions that the parent has to do all of the parenting and all of the work. And then they're trying to homeschool their children. And then now they have to figure out this new technology and then get all these projects and things together. And it's stressful. That is not my intention. My intention is not to stress my parents out. It's just to give an opportunity for us to feel connected. If you want to come, great. If you don't want to come, great. I love you. I'm still here for you. So that's the point of my Zoom sessions. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any questions about Zoom sessions, or if you want some more ideas, I do try to post. I don't know. I feel like I'm posting so much. I try not to be the over posting girl, but I do try to post like some ideas of different activities that you could do with the kids. Because again, so the way that we only do a half an hour Zoom session. So it's a very short session. It's very short and very concise. Honestly, children have about a 15-minute window of actual paying attention, because they need to move, they need to talk, they need to, there's a lot of situating that goes on throughout the whole session. So anyways, if you need any help with your Zoom sessions, if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what kinds of ideas to do with these kids, let me know. Oh, another thing that I do with my kids. So my kids had specific songs that they really love to listen to every single day. I use a lot of movement to get the kids engaged, cognitively. So in our regular program, when we were all here together, the kids would come in, then we would have like a movement activity, like a big burst of energy, like a little dance party or whatever. Then we would all sit down and then we would work on a project. Then we get back up. We do another burst of energy activity, whether it's, some sort of like dance party, or if it's a directed activity, or if it's like the jumping spot or whatever. Like, so throughout our day, we're already doing all these bursts of movement. And then, so it would be a burst of movement, attention, a burst of movement, attention, that kind of thing. That's what we do throughout our whole entire day. So I hope I didn't bombard you guys with information. Anyways, if you need help and you're really stuck on your Zoom sessions, comment below. I'm happy to help you out. I would love to share my ideas with you. I just need to know what kind of content you guys want. I hope you all have an incredible day.